Bueno, muy buenos días para todos y para todas. Les damos la bienvenida a todas las personas que se empiezan a unir a nuestro webinar informativo del día de hoy, 7 de octubre del 2025. En este caso y en esta ocasión con North Carolina State University, ubicada en los Estados Unidos. Este es sin duda un espacio increíble y fundamental que nos permite intercambiar información de altísimo valor con esta institución académica que nos va a permitir acercarnos a su oferta, a sus procesos de admisión, a su financiación y a todas las oportunidades que en sí, tanto la universidad como el país, nos va a permitir acceder. Mucho gusto para todos, mi nombre es Karen Martínez, yo hago parte del equipo de Relaciones Internacionales y Consejería Académica en COLFUTURO y me encuentro en esta ocasión muy bien acompañada con Lee, ella es representante de la Universidad de North Carolina, y Michelle Cabrera, ella es beneficiaria de COLFUTURO del 2025 y actual estudiante del máster en arquitectura. En conjunto nos van a brindar toda la información necesaria para aquellas personas que están empezando a planear un posgrado en el exterior. Lee, por su parte, nos hablará sobre procesos de admisión, sobre opciones de financiación también. Y por el otro lado, Michelle nos va a ayudar dándonos recomendaciones y va a ayudar a contarnos un poquito cuál ha sido su perspectiva y su experiencia como estudiante colombiana en Estados Unidos. Entonces, aquí la invitación es a que estemos muy atentos a toda la información que se nos brinda en este espacio y que podamos dejar nuestras inquietudes a través del cajón de Q&A, ya que ellas amablemente nos van a permitir resolverlas. Como sabrán bien, todos estos webinars se están haciendo en el marco de nuestra línea de convenios internacionales y particularmente con esta universidad, Colfuturo tiene un convenio que consta de tres in-state tuition fees. Entonces es una oportunidad sin duda alguna muy valiosa la que tenemos el día de hoy. Nuevamente la invitación es aprovecharla al máximo y dejar todas las preguntas a través del cajón de Q&A o del chat. Entonces, sin más preámbulos, Lee, thank you so much for being here today. Michelle, thank you also. We are so happy to have you here in this session, and you can go ahead and start your presentation.
Okay, great. Thank you for the handover, Karen. I'm very happy to be here today. Welcome. And like I said, I'm very happy to be here today. So to present about NC State, everything NC State related, our admissions process and our funding agreement with COLFUTURO. May I introduce to you, my name is Leto. I am the Sponsor Student Programs Manager here at NC State. I work in the Office of International Services, and I primarily work with sponsor students and sponsors such as COLFUTURO or Fulbright to help the student figure out their funding agreement with the sponsors as well as their transition into NC State. And joining me today is our current student who is also a beneficiary from COLFUTURO, Michelle Cabrera, and I'll let her introduce herself in Spanish.
Okay. Hi guys, mi nombre es Michelle Cabrera, pues actualmente estoy haciendo un máster de arquitectura, Track One, que son para las personas que ya vienen de un pregrado de arquitectura. Yo hice mi pregrado de arquitectura en la Universidad Javeriana y prácticamente salí de mi universidad el año pasado y me tomé como 6, 8 meses para trabajar y al mismo tiempo aplicar a diferentes universidades y pues mi esfuerzo me trajo acá a NC State en Raleigh. Entonces, las dos les vamos a dar las perspectivas. Yo le voy a dar una perspectiva más personal de cómo es vivir y estudiar acá en NC State. Thank you.
So for today's session, we're gonna have a little fun and switch between English and Spanish. So hopefully we'll keep you guys engaged. Before I go into talking about NC State, what I usually love to do is to introduce to students a little bit about Raleigh, North Carolina, which is where NC State is located, because I know not a lot of students have heard about Raleigh before. And I was an international student 10 years ago at this point. I know that when I first applied, I did not know where Raleigh, North Carolina was. So first of all, if you look at the maps, we are on the East Coast of the United States. Right here is the Atlantic Ocean. We right in the middle. So we are very blessed with moderate weather. We are not too hot, not too cold. When you come here, you will experience all four seasons. And right now, we are in the fall. So soon enough, the picture that you see here with a lot of leaves changing color, this is what you can expect to see when you come here between October and November. Because we are located right in the middle of the United States here, we have really great access to all the big cities on the East Coast. We are only about a 5-hour drive from Washington, D.C. You can also take the train to visit the capital city of the US. It's also about a 5-hour train ride. Our university is so close to the airport. We are only a 20-minute drive from the airport. So from the Raleigh-Durham International Airport, you can take a flight to visit New York City and Boston, all only within the 2-hour flight. You can, if you want more of the beach scene, you can also take another 2-hour flight down to visit Miami, Florida. And we are also very lucky because our state provides low cost of living. This means that you can expect to pay less when it comes to housing and food and transportation when you come to study and live in Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm very excited to show you the nature scene that our state has to offer because of our geographical location. You can have both the mountains and the sea. So I know that a lot of our international students during the weekend, they would get together, either rent a car, or if their friend has a car, they would car ride together, drive about 3 hours if they want to go for a hiking trip to the west. And if they want to go to the beach and have a picnic there, they can drive just about 2 hours, and they will be able to have access to the beautiful beach scene that we have in North Carolina. The middle of the state is the Piedmont region. This is where most of the farmland is, where you will see a lot of beautiful vineyards. You can go apple picking, strawberry picking. And the Piedmont region is also where Raleigh and Charlotte are located. So Charlotte is the biggest city in North Carolina, and Raleigh, which is the capital city, is the second largest city in North Carolina. One of the biggest benefits that our students receive as they come to live and study in Raleigh, North Carolina, is the employment opportunities and the exposure that they will have to industry. Raleigh has been continuously ranked as one of the best cities to live in the US and one of the best cities to live for freshly graduate students. This is because we are located right in the Research Triangle Park. You might hear a lot of the acronyms, the RTP. So this is the largest research park in the US and home to over 7,000 companies across all different industry, ranging from pharmaceutical to bioengineering, to financial services and information technologies. So some of the big names that you might see and might have heard of, who's have had their headquarters here in Raleigh, North Carolina, is IBM, Lenovo, Fujifilm. So when you come here, not only you will get beautiful nature, great cost of living, you'll also have a lot of exposure to internships and job placement opportunities afterwards. And I know that as an international student, diversity and safety are one of your main concerns, and so are they with us. So the state of North Carolina ourselves, we attracted more than 24,000 international students studying in North Carolina last year. And at NC State alone, we welcome about 4,000 international students every year coming here to study. And we have the biggest population of international students joining us in North Carolina State. For the graduate school itself, 1/3 of our graduate students are international. So you will be sure to feel that you can find a community here. Many of them are from Columbia as well, and Michelle can attest a little bit about that later and tell her about her personal story. So there's a community here waiting for you to join us. In terms of safety, Raleigh is a very safe city. We are the second safest capital city in the US, and also the 13th out of 50 states that we have in the US. We are the 13th safest state. in the nation. So when you come to Raleigh, besides the Raleigh Police Department, as another measure of safety that we have, the campus also provide our own campus police services. So that way, not only you will feel safe in the city, but when you are on campus, you have an extra layer of protection as well. And Michelle, do you have anything to add on your personal note about
Yeah,
this?
just to add a little bit, pues para las personas que son de Bogotá o otras ciudades grandes de Colombia, moverse en realidad es lo más tranquilo de la vida. O sea, ustedes pueden sacar el celular, caminar tranquilos por la noche. Hace poco me compré una scooter y no se preocupen por nada de moverse alrededor. Yo me muevo o en Uber o en scooter o en el bus de la universidad. También dos cosas. Ser estudiante en NC State te permite tener el Raleigh Bus free, o sea, es gratis pues, para los estudiantes. Y también, pues la universidad tiene su propia línea de buses que está súper conectada alrededor de la zona de la universidad, que es donde si deciden venir acá, pues la idea es como conseguir vivienda acá y es muy fácil. Y pues también es gratis tras del hecho. Entonces, no se preocupen por la seguridad acá. Acá es como, en serio, es un paraíso para eso. Salir en la noche a Glenwood o al downtown es súper tranquilo. No, pues, no sé, o sea, comparado a Bogotá, les juro que esto en cuanto a seguridad, no, nunca deben mirar para atrás ni nada. Y hay cosas que me ha impactado, es un choque cultural que ha sido muy lindo de cómo puedo concentrar mi energía en otras cosas que no sea la inseguridad del Transmilenio, otros espacios que yo estaba acostumbrada a Bogotá. Acá, pues, no es así. Ya.
Thanks, Michelle.
Ujú.
And moving on, now that we have a good overview of Raleigh, North Carolina, we'll zoom in a little bit about NC State. So at NC State, we pride ourselves on being a STEM-focused institution with our notable programs in engineering, textiles, agriculture, business, and veterinary medicine. We really want to bring the best and brightest across the globe to help us develop our graduate culture here at NC State. Our university is ranked at the top 1% globally, and we are ranked top 60 in the nation, according to the US News and World Ranking. Our motto is think and do, and you will see a lot of examples that I give out in the presentation today surrounding this motto, think and do. So for us, we don't only strive to provide the highest quality of teaching and cutting edge research, but we also want to provide our students with plenty of opportunities to apply what they learn to the real world, so that once they graduate, they can contribute not only to the state of North Carolina, but they can also bring back, in your case, to your home country, to help solve real world problems and make the world a better place. And because of our talents and because of the reputation in training that we have established here at NC State, we have a lot of employers who like to visit our campus and hire our students for internships or for employment opportunities after graduation. So because of that, we are number 13 nationally in graduates hired by the top 25 companies in Silicon Valley. And you could also see on this slide a lot of other rankings that I am sharing here about Raleigh, about NC State, and why it is a great place for you to come to live and study. Ranking aside, I think what really set us different from many different universities is our focus in students. We are a large public institution. We have about 37,000 students total. However, especially at the graduate level, we're very proud of the student-faculty ratio that we provide. So 15 students per one faculty. So you are guaranteed to get a lot of attention and a lot of focus and care from our faculty as well as our staff members. When it comes to finding a place where you could belong, we do have 700 and more student organizations on campus. And many of these organizations are Latin American student focused. The two most popular ones that I know of are Mi Familia and the most recently established Latin American Student Association. We understand that international students, when they come to the United States to study, there are a separate set of challenges that they have to face. So therefore, we try our best to provide very tailored support to our international students. So besides academic support that the programs and the departments can provide at the department level, we also have academic support advisors and coordinators. I myself is one of them, who specialize in advising international students. We have multiple support offices across our whole campus to support international students as well. And that goes from admissions into visa processing, into providing you with orientation once you arrive on campus, once you get a job, and would like to know more about how to do your taxes and fill out your immigration forms. All of that, you can get support here at NC State. Michelle, would you like to talk a little bit more
Yeah,
about
for
your
sure.
involvement?
Ujú. Bueno, ya que Lee estaba mencionando los diferentes grupos que hay, en Latin American Student Association yo conocí a mi mejor amiga de Bolivia. Y créanme que ustedes acá, listo, les puede ir súper bien en la universidad, entender el sistema, todo, pero son este tipo de personas que serán su red de apoyo cuando en serio se sientan súper homesick, cuando el espacio acá es súper silencioso. Yo no pensé que fuera a extrañar tanto el ruido de Bogotá, pero que no sé, que vendan eucalipto, aguacate, aquí no hay, aquí es un silencio total. Entonces, como conseguir ese sistema de apoyo a través de estos espacios me ha ayudado mucho. También, dependiendo la carrera, también hay grupos, digamos, yo soy parte de No Más es como una asociación para minorías en arquitectura, entonces hacen actividades como venta de plantas, creo que hoy hay una como de yoga con perritos. La verdad es como súper activo de todo lado. Y por las organizaciones que hay de todo. Hay desde tenis, hay desde acapela, o sea, todo lo que se les ocurra, acá va a poder haber. Y yo nunca he terminado de ver el listado de grupos que hay. Entonces ahí es donde pues vas, tú tienes tus amigos de la facultad, pero son estos espacios los que yo me han dado pues, a mis amigos más cercanos gracias a esto. Y incluso pues en la misma carrera, los profesores también saben que tú eres internacional, que vienes de otro sistema educativo. Entonces, todo esto ellos lo tienen en cuenta. Al menos en arquitectura pasar, suena un poco, bobo, pero pasar de metros a feet o inches sí me ha tomado su tiempo, pero ya una vez pues la tomas, vas volando. Y mis compañeras de arquitectura, que la mayoría pues son de acá de los Estados Unidos, son súper atentas. O sea, hay ciertas cosas que en arquitectura que yo nunca había traducido al inglés y que he aprendido durante el proceso. Entonces, de verdad, no solo la faculty o el espacio, sino las personas que tú tengas alrededor van a ser un gran apoyo para ti. Ya.
Michelle? So moving on to academic offerings, we cannot talk about a university without understanding what kind of programs that university offers. So at the graduate school level, we offer more than 200 different graduate programs that you can select from. And I'm not going to bore you with all the details of what programs we offer. Here is the link that you can access to gain a full list of our academic catalog. And you can see for yourself which one you're really interested in and see yourself fit. On top of our academic programs, I also would like to talk briefly about our intensive English program, also known as the IEP. So when you come here, when you apply to NC State, and let's say your English proficiency is not to where the university requires you to be, our TOEFL score requirement is 80 and our IELTS is 6.5. And let's say if your TOEFL score is only at 65, you can opt into apply to the IAP pathway program to gain conditional admissions to our graduate degrees. So that way you can have more time to polish your English. Usually it can take between a semester or two to finish up the IEP program while you take one or two graduate level courses so that it will be more of an easier transition for you to go in while you get acclimated and get your English sorted out. About research, NC State is what we call a Tier 1 research university. Now, what this means is that our university is has very high research activity, and only 4% of the universities in the US is classified as R1. And research is really embedded in our DNA, and we cannot talk about research without some of the highlights that I would like to showcase to you. So last year in 2024, we spent 633 million in research expenditures, and the large amount of this 600 millions in expenditure goes towards funding our graduate students who come here to study and do research with us, and primarily our PhD student. Our research office and faculty submitted 2.5 billion in research proposals and have won over 500 million in awards from that proposal. Our research effort has 5 different focuses. When we sit down and think about where we want to position our university, we really want to resonate back to our motto, think and do. So when we define our strategic research areas, we want to make sure that our research effort will align well with solving real-world problems. And that means we want to create a safe, secure, intelligent systems. This includes in advanced manufacturing, in building smart cities, building an IT system. It also means that we want to design healthy and resilient society. We want to enrich the human experience, driving food, water, engineering solutions, and harness data for decision-making. And all of these research areas are quite interdisciplinary. So when we look for talents to join us to help on these research efforts, these are the areas that we really want to invite the global talents to come and join us and solve these problems. And our research effort spreads equally across all different campuses at NC State. However, the one campus that I really want to bring your attention to is our Centennial campus. This is the space where you really see the motto think and do in action, because this is where academics meets the real world. This campus is strategically designed to house both academic departments and companies, both in the private and the nonprofit sectors. You will see, when you tour the Centennial campus, you will see a lot of the buildings are designed in such a way that will have the lower level of the building as classrooms, while the offices above those classrooms would be the offices of different industry partners that we house on Centennial campus. We really want to see our students to see that in order to solve real world problems, we need academics and industry to collaborate in the same space. And as the results, a lot of our students are actually hired by companies who have their offices here on Centennial campus. And speaking of Centennial campus, this is where, just to go a little bit more about what we offer here on Centennial campus, this is where our graduate school is housed. So therefore, you will also find a lot of different opportunities to develop your professional skills here. There are many different workshops and job fairs that are offered to you throughout the years so that you can polish up on your resume, writing skills, on your interview skills, and really get you to be hireable upon your graduation. One of my favorite places, and it's also one of Michelle's favorite place on Centennial campus, is the Hunt Library. Michelle, would you like to talk a bit more about why you like Hunt's Library so much?
Sure. Well, Home Library, la primera vez que fui a Home Library fue gracias a una de mis clases que se llama Tectonics and Crafts, que fuimos a analizar el espacio, el mobiliario, analizar cómo se movía la gente, también analizar el trabajo de los arquitectos que se llamaban Eshnojeta, fueron los encargados de, pues, curar este edificio tan hermoso que tiene como, no les miento, más de 15 espacios diferentes y más de 20 tipos de sillas, dependiendo el uso que tú quieras darle. Incluso hay un espacio para graduate students, solo para los graduate. Y pues puede ser que yo no esté tan cerca, pero hago el esfuerzo para ir porque en serio, créanme, es un espacio que uno en serio disfruta estudiar y puede sonar muy cliché, pero lo abierto que es, los colores, la sensación, incluso tiene una terraza que da como hacia uno de los lagos que tenemos cerca y la vista es impresionante. Y yo me hago el viaje para ir hasta allá y estudiar. Es un espacio que de verdad uno se relaja y también lo aprovecha. Entonces, y también tenemos otras librerías que es la Hill Library, que está en el North Campus, y arquitectura también tiene otra librería. No sé si en las otras facultades allá, pero es algo que inculcan mucho, como la lectura, investigar, todos estos espacios. Entonces, algo que representa muy bien a la universidad, que en serio se los agradezco demasiado. Entonces, sí.
And just to reiterate a little bit more about what kind of professional development programs that you will have access to when you come here to study at grad school. If you would like to go into the teaching route, we definitely can tailor your professional experience by attending our teaching workshops. And we also have this preparing for the professorate program, in which you will be paired with an experienced faculty throughout your time at NC State, so that you would receive the mentoring and the teaching experience that this faculty have in order to prepare you to be a better teacher down the road. If you want to polish up on your writing skills for research grants and research proposals, the writing workshop is definitely there for you. We also have different certificate programs to help you with leadership skills, and also many other different avenues where you can select and choose for yourself in order to get you ready for your career prepare readiness. To go a little bit about the admissions process, I know a lot of you, when you look into applying for US schools, many of these application requirements might be very familiar with you. So I'm only going through them kind of quickly so that we can have more time for Q&A afterwards. But in order for your application to be considered, you do need, first of all, submit an online application form and pay a fee. And then you will need to submit an academic transcripts or academic records. These don't need to be evaluated, and these don't need to be the official copy. We accept the unofficial copy at the point of admissions and application review. We, however, do require students to submit an English language scores, whether that is IELTS, TOEFL, or Duolingo. These test scores will need to be official, coming from ETS or British Council. We do require 3 letters of recommendation in your application: a personal statement essay explaining why you're interested in NC State, why would you like to pursue higher degree in the field that you are interested in, a resume, and if you have taken a GRE or a GMAT and you think that these scores will really help strengthening your application, then I would recommend you submitting them. However, these standardized test scores are mostly optional for our graduate programs. The only exception I can think of is our business school, our business programs, they do require GMAT. And I will go a little bit about funding as well. So one avenue you could fund your graduate studies is with COLFUTURO funding. COLFUTURO and NC State have had an agreement in which NC State, for every COLFUTURO student who also are admitted to NC State graduate program, NC State will pay out-of-state tuition. Meanwhile, COLFUTURO will pay for your in-state tuition, student fees, and living expenses. Obviously, you do have to retain a good academic standing and meet some of other eligibility requirements to continue receiving financial support. The funding is usually for 2 years, and we select the best 3 students to be granted this funding agreement. If COLFUTURO funding is something that not an option for you, we do have different avenues to fund your graduate degrees. The most popular one that a lot of our PhD students receive is our graduate teaching and research assistantships. This comes as kind of like a work-study arrangement. So the student, when they come here, they usually would teach for about 15 to 20 hours a week. In return, they will receive stipend, first of all, and then free tuitions and health insurance. And same arrangement for research assistantship.
Can
On
I,
top
can I add something here, Lee?
Mhm.
Otra cosa, si incluso además de estos necesitan como alguna otra ayuda, hay que ser súper proactivos. Yo me comuniqué con profesores, con una de ellas es Tracy, que pues es la head en arquitectura. Le comenté sobre mi caso y pues le mostré otra vez como pues mi CV, mi portafolio, todo. Y teniendo en cuenta pues mi perfil, ellos decidieron otorgarme una beca en el College of Design que para el primer año, que quiere decir que ellos me están pagando actualmente la tuition de todo el primer año. Entonces, son otros tipos de opciones que los pueden ayudar. Buscar, hablar con ellos aquí, son súper abiertos a que cuenten su historia, cuenten qué es lo que quieren, qué van a hacer después del posgrado y por qué necesitan ese tipo de financiamiento. Entonces, se los recomiendo totalmente, más que si van a un máster. Se nota mucho la iniciativa de uno, si uno los llama o les envía correos, entonces para que lo tengan en cuenta.
So on top of the TA and the RA funding opportunities, there's also different fellowships that you will be eligible to be considered at the point of your application. And these fellowships don't come with a work requirement. So this comes to you as a merit scholarship. So therefore, you can focus just on your study and on your research if you would like to. And just to emphasize one more time, how our campus is a very student-focused culture. The resources that we provide to students is limitless, and especially for our international students, we do want students to arrive on campus feeling ready to tackle their academic endeavors. So once you are admitted to NC State, you will be invited to join us for a 4-month pre-arrival orientation series. And we call that the Packing Up series. These are different sessions that our Office of International Students will host in between April until August to get you ready and set up once you arrive on campus. So this ranges from finding housing, how to sign a lease, to how to deal with campus employment if you are provided an opportunity to work on campus. Get to know and get used to MyPack Portal, which is a platform that we use for you to enroll in your courses. We'll also have sessions about budgeting and how to save money as a student coming here for graduate studies, and many other different topics that our students have found very helpful and relevant to help them ready before they arrive in the US. As part of the effort to help our students to first find housing, and second, to already feel like they have a community by the time they arrive on campus, our Office of International Services also provide Wolfpack Global Connect, where we will connect you with all different other international students that are arriving that year. So that way you guys can have a chat offsite, talking about, what field you are studying in, what kind of housing you're looking for if you decide to be roommates together, whether or not this person has a car and they can take you to a different places so you can explore North Carolina together. So finding your friends and finding your communities can start right when you're in your home country. And just a few different things I would like to recommend for you as you take the next steps and thinking about applying to NC State. A lot of international students don't get the opportunity to visit our campus in person. So we have created a virtual tour for you guys so that you can get a good sense of how our campus looks and whether you see yourself on this campus. You could also connect with one of our international student ambassador who will provide you a more realistic and more personal level of their experience at NC State as a graduate student. You could also attend a lot of different program info session. All of them are included on our calendar here. And then if you have any questions at all, myself, is here. So you can reach out to me anytime via email. If you have any questions about applying to NC State, we also have a new international admissions and recruitment manager identified. Her name is Katie Gamp. She just started with us this past month, but she is also available to guide you through different steps of the admissions process and answering any questions that you have in regards to your admissions or your visa status. And with that, I would like to conclude my part of the session here. Now I would give it over to Michelle so she can talk a little bit about her personal experience at NC State and why she selected NC State for her graduate degree.
Okay, thank you so much. Well, I tried to make like four specific reasons, like the main four reasons, como las primeras cuatro razones por las que elegí a NC State. La primera es un poco más personal. Mi familia, cuando yo tenía más o menos 2 o 3 años, nosotros vivimos en Raleigh por 6 meses, pero por razones personales nos devolvimos a Colombia y cosas de la vida me volví a encontrar en todas mis aplicaciones a NC State y el programa de arquitectura es uno de los mejores del país. Está dentro de las 25 mejores universidades públicas para arquitectura. ¿Qué quiere decir esto? Que compite contra universidades como Berkeley o la de San Francisco, incluso SCAD. Entonces, está en el top. Y todo lo que les hemos comentado no solo es parte desde mi estudio, sino es parte desde que yo también tengo como cierta nostalgia con el lugar, ya que mis padres reconocen Downtown, reconocen NC State. Entonces, de cierta manera, estoy volviendo al espacio que alguna vez pues fue mío sin que yo lo supiera. Eso por un lado. La segunda es como la conexión con las personas de la facultad, no solo mis compañeras, sino los que comentaba como Tracy. Tracy en serio ya me escuchó mi historia, escuchó cómo desde hace muchos años yo he querido entrar al sistema educativo estadounidense y em, me dieron la oportunidad de otorgarme la beca, que de verdad es un alivio muy grande desde la Facultad de Arquitectura. También incluso los profesores, como ya les comenté antes, siempre están ahí pendientes. Hay incluso programas de intercambio que no es como que uno los tenga que pagar, sino dan oportunidades de beca. Esta mañana creo van a hacer como una Zoom meeting para una sesión de un intercambio en Roma. También apliqué a uno en Kenia y pues dentro de ese proceso de aplicación que son mini intercambios, por decirlo, 2 semanas o un mes, o incluso menos. La universidad provee becas a uno de los de 13, uno entre 13 estudiantes más o menos. Entonces hay oportunidades de moverse incluso en el mundo gracias a la universidad. Eh, pues ya además de lo que mencioné y lo del ranking, las oportunidades de trabajos, las work fairs, todo lo que hay. Hace poco asistí a mi primera y también los van a impulsar a moverse dentro de Estados Unidos. Tuve la oportunidad de pues aplicar a diferentes firmas de arquitectura, de landscape architecture en Charlotte, en Raleigh. Entonces ellos están muy pendientes de qué estudiantes están buscando esto. Y aunque no lo crean, el español acá te da un plus porque te vuelve bilingüe. O sea, además de, obvio, todo el mundo tiene el inglés acá. Al menos en arquitectura, buscan gente que hable español, buscan gente que ya sepa moverse en estos espacios. Los networking, esta semana van a haber unas como sesiones de Zoom para ayudarte, lo que comentaba Tracy de las CVs, el resume, entonces, y portafolios en cuanto ya a carrera más de diseño. Entonces, tú lo que haces, lo que me han dicho es que pues tú asistes a estas sesiones y les muestras el portafolio y tu resumen y te van indicando. E incluso en estas ferias tienen algo muy interesante que es como te arreglan y te ponen como para la foto en LinkedIn, entonces como algo muy bonito también como desde la parte más estética. Y ya, toca también estar muy proactivo, no solo con la universidad, sino que yo también por mi parte, teniendo en cuenta que este es el Triangle Research, al menos en Raleigh, tú vas al downtown y caminas y encuentras como 3 o 4 firmas de arquitectura. Está Gensler, que es una de las firmas más grandes de arquitectura. Ya en otros términos está Oracle, que es de software engineer, está Dell. De verdad, aquí hay oportunidades a lo mil. La cosa es buscarlas. Y yo también, por mi parte, voy a buscar contactarme con la sesión de arquitectura que hay acá en Raleigh y pues poder conectar con ellos. Eso ya es más de mi parte, pero una vez que ellos escuchen que eres de NC State, te tienen en la mira. ¿Por qué? Porque la primera vez que, bueno, cuando llegué a Raleigh, lo primero que vi una vez saliendo del avión es que dice Welcome to Raleigh, the home of the Wolfpack. Entonces, en el aeropuerto tienen el anuncio que dice bienvenidos a la casa de Wolfpack, que es como nos llaman a nosotros. Entonces, imagínense un aeropuerto que promociona la misma universidad. Son diferentes tips para que tengan en cuenta que esta universidad es es una de las más grandes acá y está muy conectada con Duke University, con Chapel Hill, que somos como el Triangle, eso también toca tenerlo en cuenta. Entonces, es ser proactivo y moverse en estos espacios. Entonces, les juro que yo por mi parte solo he estado, creo que ya cumplí 2 meses ya, 2 months already, y me he movido mucho en los espacios, incluso he encontrado grupos de revistas de diseño de fotografía, de baile. Hay uno de los grupos que hay de latinos, es como de baile de salsa profesional, entonces también he tenido la oportunidad de ir. Entonces, si quieren salirse también de la parte académica, hay demasiadas opciones como para respirar un poquito. Entonces, si quieren eso también, aquí hay todo eso. Entonces, en serio les recomiendo venir. Y no solo por la experiencia, sino por la gente que van a conocer. Entonces, sí. Yeah, I think that's it.
Thank you so much, Michelle.
No,
And
thanks to you, Lee.
now it's time for our Q&A session. Please throw all the questions that way.
Okay, Lee, thank you so much for this amazing presentation and for all the valuable information that you gave us today. Y Michelle, también muchísimas gracias a ti por compartir con nosotros tu experiencia. Una de las preguntas que tenemos justamente es si tú nos podrías compartir tu correo o información de contacto para que las personas que están empezando a planear su posgrado charlen contigo y tú les puedas contar un poquito más de cerca toda tu experiencia.
Claro, si quieren ya les comparto uno de los correos que tengo para esto, entonces ya lo copio y le pego, no hay problema.
Vale, Michelle, gracias. Perfectly. We have a question for you, and it's about the process admission. What is the English level required for the university, and what exam and the score that you need?
Yes. So as I mentioned in my previous slide, the 3 acceptable English language tests that we consider for application are the TOEFL, IELTS, and Duolingo. For TOEFL, the minimum requirement score is 80. For IELTS, minimum score is 6.5, and then for Duolingo is 110.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Okay, we have another question, and it's about do you have a program, a specific program of master in data science?
In data science, that's a great question. I know we have a lot of different master program in data. Now, in data science, I have to do a bit of research. I'll get back to you in a minute. We have a master of foundation in data science. That I for sure know that we have. We also have the master in business analytics, also very much data related. We have the reason why I'm having a difficult time answering that question straight is because we have a lot of different data offerings just in different departments of our program. And that means that they will provide different concentrations. So for the Master of Data Analytics, this is a premium tuition program. That means that, and it's more for professionals who would like to be job ready by the time they graduate. But for our Master in Foundation of Data Science program, this program is more math specific and math tailor. So the student can take this degree to go either into research or into industry.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Lee, can you repeat when the deadlines are for masters, please?
So we don't have like a one general deadline for all programs. All of the programs have different deadlines. So therefore, I highly recommend students to go to these programs' websites and see their specific deadlines that they're requiring.
Okay.
But I would say in general, most of our graduate programs would like to see students who apply by December.
Okay.
And so that's for round one. Some programs would also offer a round two admissions that students can submit later on in February or March. But I would say if you really want to be considered for funding, a lot of the funding decisions will be made during round one. So early on in December.
Okay, perfect. Okay, if I wish to study or participate in an exchange program at North Carolina University, that is to take courses at the university as part of my master's degree here in Colombia, my question is, if it's possible to participate in this type of exchange program, what do you recommend in terms of how to begin the application process?
Exchange program.
Yeah.
I assume these are exchange programs that NC State already have agreements with?
No.
Oh,
The
okay.
exchange program doesn't apply between our agreement with COLFUTURO.
I see. Okay, because when in my world of definition of exchange program, it means our US student would go to that university,
Yeah.
then that university will send us another student. So that means exchange. Maybe
Okay.
maybe the student's definition here is a bit different.
Yes, yeah. Could be similar to this, but is that the student are here in Colombia in a specific university and could go to the North Carolina State University to do some subjects, not at all, but yeah, some subjects in the university. One semester, for example, one semester in North Carolina University, and then he come to back.
I see. Okay, I am not familiar with this program, specifically for exchange program. The population that I work with the most are students who are here for the whole degree program. However, I know that for a lot of exchange programs to happen, the two universities usually need to have an agreement so that, and this is in the benefits of the students, so that when the student come to NC State to study, their credits at NC State will be counted towards the degree at their home university. So I'm sorry, I don't have a lot of information about this right now, But if the student really wants to pursue this opportunity, I would like, please send me an email and the name of your institution. And I want to see if we already have an agreement with this university in Colombia to honor that exchange opportunity.
Okay, perfect. Thank you,
Mhm.
Lee. Okay, what is the rate of acceptance for international students?
Oh, we don't have this information because the acceptance rate varies through different programs. I don't know if we track that at the graduate school level. I would say, depending on the programs that you apply for, obviously our university is known for our STEM field. So we have higher competitiveness in those areas of applications, but that doesn't mean other fields have less of the requirements. It just means that there are less applications for our faculty to consider. Michelle, do you know how difficult or how competitive your program was when you applied?
Well,
Okay.
well, mine wasn't, well, at least for me, it wasn't that kind of competitive because I already know, like, ya sé más o menos cómo la aplicación yo la he hecho antes, pero si es la primera vez que están aplicando, si es algo duro, pues tener las recomendaciones, el ensayo. Especialmente las recomendaciones que sean profesores, digamos, yo usé mi profesora de tesis, busqué profesores que en serio yo dije, no, ellos saben quién soy yo, cómo me fue en mi carrera, pues en la Javeriana, saben mi proyecto, que sea como una recomendación muy personal, pero ya en cuanto a porcentaje de aceptación en arquitectura, tampoco hay. Lo que sí les quiero decir es que, y personas que me han dicho esta información, como ya personas que vienen acá, muy pocas personas en los Estados Unidos tienen un graduate porque es algo muy competitivo. Entonces, si ustedes llegan a estar acá, es porque de verdad se lo merecen. Entonces, para que tengan eso en cuenta, más o menos de este porcentaje, sí lo sé, de las personas que tuvieron su undergrad aquí en Estados Unidos, solo el 13 o al 15% tienen un graduate. Entonces, sí es por ese lado, sí es algo complicado, pero que se puede lograr, se logra con mucho esfuerzo. A mí me costó, es un proceso que llevo desde hace años, el promedio es súper importante, el TOEFL también, y al menos en mi carrera, que son como diseños, lo que te hace la diferencia es el portafolio. Entonces, para que tengan eso en cuenta, no sé, dependiendo de la carrera que cada quien quiera de pronto piden otro tipo de requerimientos, pero es ese tipo de cosas que les puede hacer la diferencia. Entonces, sí.
Gracias, Michelle. Súper valiosa
Ya.
la información. Listo, Lee. We have the last question because the time is over. But about the reference letter, you say that the university requires three. From
Ujú.
what people do you recommend that reference letter? Teacher, parents, employers? Which one is better?
That's a great question. I get this a lot when I talk to students. So, like I said, depending on the field that you're applying to, because we have so many different programs and the program's requirements vary. But I would say for fields that focus more on research,
Yeah.
um, definitely you want to get recommendations from either your research advisor or faculty who you have worked on a research project with.
Mhm.
This way, they really can comment on your ability to first perform academically, and second, how you carry a research project from the start to the success of the project. And as a tier one research university, we want to recruit the best and the brightest researchers, right? So really look for people who can comment on your research effort, whether that research effort has been published or not. That's highly recommend. Now, if you have work experience already, having one recommendation letter from a work supervisor could be also very helpful. Now, though I know for a lot of the students, they don't feel comfortable asking for a recommendation letter from their supervisor because this might mean that they leaving work, and that's not a good thing to share. But if you have a good relationship either with a supervisor or a person who really can comment on your work ethics, this is the person that I would highly recommend the student to ask a recommendation letter for.
Okay, that's perfect. Well, Lee, thank you so much. Michelle, thank you also for this presentation, for joining us today with COLFUTURO, and I hope to see you in the next opportunity.
Yeah, please let me know if there's other opportunities to talk to COLFUTURO students and students in
Perfect.
Colombia in general. Thank you so much for having us
Thank
here
you,
today.
Lee. Michelle,
Thank
también muchísimas gracias por acompañarnos. Tu experiencia para nosotros es súper valiosa.
No, muchas gracias a ti, Karen y Ali, pues también por tenerme acá. Y pues un mini tip, en serio. O sea, con esfuerzo acá, esta es la sociedad de la meritocracia. Acá se los van a considerar, cada cosita que hagan es un centímetro más para cumplir sus sueños. Pero sí.
Gracias, Michelle. Bueno, y a
Nada.
todos los asistentes, también muchas gracias por su participación y su interés. Los esperamos en los demás eventos que tenemos preparados para todos ustedes. Hasta luego. Chao, chicas. Gracias. Goodbye, Lee.
Ciao.
Thank you so much.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you.